Hi, and welcome to another video. My videos are usually impromptu and a bit of a mess, but hey, never mind. So today I wanted to share with you some shopping and a haul, but it's not a haul in the traditional sense of what you're used to seeing here on YouTube. I wanted to share with you an ethical, conscious shopping haul. Not that any of these pieces are conscious or ethically made or anything along those lines, but in terms of slower shopping, slow styling, good hashtag on Instagram, all that, I want to share with you a capsule of basics, and I'm going to do this as a series. And 90% of what is here has been bought secondhand, or if it has been bought brand new, they are pieces I have had in excess of more than 3 years, some of them longer. So what I wanted to share with you was some hints and tips of what to do, where to find basics, etc. Look after them, wear them, and keep them for longer. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So first off, we're going to start here with the dresses. This, although it's fluffy, I do apologise for some of the fluff and creases. These are things that have been pulled straight out of my wardrobe, and I'm in the midst of having a reorganise of my wardrobe. This is a black 1960s style shift dress with a boat neckline. I bought this in 2007 for £12 from H&M. It still fits, I still wear it, I still love it. It's a good material. I'll tell you what it's made of. It is 97% cotton. Now you're going to notice a theme in some of the fabrics that I buy. But this, I've had this since, 2007. I remember buying it to wear out for my birthday that year, and you know what, it's 2019 and I still have it in my wardrobe, and as you can see, it's still in good condition because I look after my stuff, hang it, wear it, wash it correctly, and I adore this dress. I've always adored this dress, and it's one of those things I don't think I'll ever get rid of. Some advice when it comes to dresses I would recommend is, I personally have a preference for vintage styles, but with a modern twist. I own a lot of very beautiful vintage clothing. I mean, today, for instance, I'm wearing a 1940s inspired tea dress, secondhand off from Next, but I got it off eBay. But I really like kind of 50s and 60s shapes, and 70s as well. But I appreciate when you can find a modern equivalent of it, because unfortunately sometimes with those kinds of dresses, especially at the moment where vintage has become quite popular, a lot of them are very scarce and hard to get hold of, and also some of them, especially like 1960s and 70s stuff, they tend to be made of synthetic materials, so they don't breathe that brilliantly, and some people do struggle to wear them. So the top 5 things I will recommend that you, if you want to have like a basics wardrobe that you can kind of build. Good black dress. Next up I've got here is this black and white X Topshop striped knitted dress. It's long sleeve, just a loose dress, black and white stripes. Bought this last year off eBay, X stock. It's really comfy, less than £10. It can be worn when it's kind of in the evening in the summer, and you know what it's like in the UK. You get to the evening, it's a bit cold, so you want to throw something on, but you don't have to wear a cardigan. Something like that is great. In the winter, you can throw leggings under it. You could wear a strappy top that no one will notice, so you've got an extra layer. And some boots. It goes really well with that. It goes really well with some nice tights. Again, simple Parisian-inspired stripes. That's why I like it. Simple, easy to wear. The one thing you will note about today is a lot of what I've got and I'm showing you are very simple, basic things. So, moving on to some coats. Now this is a mixture of winter and summer items. This is, you can see it's been in storage, but this is a coat I bought off of eBay. It was slightly oversized, and to accommodate my bust I moved the buttons over. I paid, including postage, back in 2007. I apologise again for my hair. Again, this has been in storage because it's a winter coat. I bought this in 2017, second hand off eBay, from a very lovely lady who was selling it for her granddaughter. But it is an amazing coat. It's faux leather with this really nice navy blue. Usually when I wear it, I will run like a clothes dust brush thing over it, but it wears really well. It's a nice basic, and instead of black, it's a nice dark chocolate brown, and I like the simplicity. It's like a boyfriend coat, but it's not massively oversized. Another useful tip: if you like something and it's in an oversized fit, usually you can size down 1 to 2 sizes so it would fit you like a normal blouse, because in my experience, if I buy something that's oversized and it's my size, good example, last year I bought a jumper off of Topshop that was supposed to be boxy and oversized. It was basically a dress and the sleeves were like 6 inches past my hands. So something like this is a good staple for the winter. It's got a nice boxy shape, simple, vintage inspired again. I like it. And what's cool about stuff like this is if you don't like the buttons, you can change them out. I quite like this style of button. It's simple, it's a bit different, it's fun. Another thing I would recommend having is a good black leather jacket. This I bought in January. It's originally from New Look. I got this from a charity shop for I think £7. It is real leather, but what I like is it's actually got a suede finish to it as opposed to a traditional leather jacket. I own 3 leather jackets. One's Mubin and a mushroom taupey colour second-hand shop. This one and one from Topshop that I've had since 2009 and I have quite literally worn to death. But something like this I would recommend. It's got a slight softer cut than your traditional motorbike jacket. It has skinny arms, unlike a lot of bike jackets that have quite bulky arms. It's got no buttons, so you can roll up the sleeves if you want to. Looks really nice over summer dresses. Looks really good over jumpers in the winter. Good for layering in the autumn. Not so great when it's pouring with rain like it does in the UK, but it's a simple go-to jacket. I've worn it quite a lot, and you know, it has the idea of the whole toughening up of a look, but what I really like about it is it's almost like a metallic sheen finish to it, but if you can see, it's just this really nice leather, and I appreciate leather's not for everybody, but I saw this, fell in love with it, because I've been trying to find a nice black jacket to replace a vintage one I donated, but I love this, and it's got little pockets of zip, and it's got a zip pocket there. I've always had a soft spot for leather jackets, I must admit. So I'd highly recommend, if you can find one, go for it. This, I wasn't even looking, I just spotted this in the charity shop, realised it was leather and thought, ooh! And it's not like any other leather jacket I own. This is a weird amalgamation. This is neither trench coat nor princess coat, it's somewhere in between. The bottom flares out like a princess coat, but it's actually got the cut like a traditional trench coat. It's this really pretty pearlescent fabric, and it's a really nice subtle colour. The problem I tend to find with trench coats and that odd colour that most of them are is because I'm so pale, they look terrible against my skin tone, whereas this, it's not long and boxy like a normal trench coat, because it's fitted more like a 50s princess coat. It fits beautifully. It's lightweight, it's got pockets, got the belt, it's got these beautiful buttons. They're kind of like a champagne hardware. But here's the great thing about this coat. You're going to go, oh no, not fast fashion. This is from Primark in 2017. I paid £1 for it from a charity shop. So yes, it is Primark, but I bought it from a charity shop for a whole £1. And I've worn this quite a lot. In fact, I wore this to a job interview as well. But I love the fact that this is such a feminine twist on a traditional classic, because I know a lot of people are like a hard sell on things like Burberry. I've seen Burberry coats up close in Bicester Village, and they're very beautiful. But let's be honest, as much as I personally love looking at like luxury shopping, and I do, like YouTube videos and stuff, I don't personally have the wallet to go and spend however much money on a Burberry coat. Yes, this was £1. It doesn't look like £1, and it doesn't look like it's from Primark. And the thing is, when people tend to buy things quite cheaply, people think, oh, it's cheap, therefore it must be cheap value. And I'm not going to say, oh my god, Primark's the best thing in the world. And I don't say, hey, yeah, things I don't understand is like when people will walk into places like Primark, they'll buy an entire wardrobe for their summer holiday, and then they'll get rid of it a few weeks later when they're finished. I've never had that ethos when it comes to clothes. You know, ever since I was a teenager, I've always personally gone out of my way to buy stuff secondhand. I will do the traditional mend and make do, only for the fact that I think that you can buy beautiful things, and as long as you look after them and you treat them well, you can have them for a lifetime. And I'm going to give you a good example of that. You remember I showed you my dress from 2007? This t-shirt here, it says Detox is the New Black. This is from Primark in 2007. I think it was something ridiculous like 50p, and it's 100% cotton. And I've had this since 2007 as well. And this is one of my, this thing gets worn every couple of weeks. And yes, it's quite wrinkled because it's just come out of my drawer. But I mean, I've had that since 2007. And, you know, I recommend stuff like this. I know cotton isn't the most environmentally friendly material in the world. But if you buy a decent cotton t-shirt, a well-made one, you know, it will last you. The problem with a lot of women's t-shirts, specifically women's, not men's, is they're made of cheap synthetic material, so they don't breathe. They're white, they're practically see-through, so they're uncomfortable, and you have to layer them up over something else, or within a couple of washes, they're falling apart. And one tip, if you can't afford to do whatever and you do want to shop in Primark, I recommend buy basic t-shirts from the men's section. My husband recently, I bought him a load of long sleeve t-shirts. They're all cotton. And I was so jealous I ended up buying a load for myself. And, you know, the blokes have cotton t-shirts upstairs. Excuse me. But women don't. And that, I think, is so... It's poor. And the nice thing with blokes is the t-shirts also tend to be cheaper as well. But that's something I would highly recommend for you for your wardrobe. Would be a good leather jacket, a good lightweight but not too heavy woolen style winter jacket like I've shown you, and a nice trench coat if you want a trench coat. I know they're not for everybody. I've had a traditional style trench coat. I dyed it blue, and I tell you what, I hated wearing it. I donated it. Stuff like this, I think this was maybe 50p, a pound in one of Primark's many clearance sales. 12 years later, it's still rocking itself in my wardrobe on the weekly. I like the graphic. I think it's a bit fun. I personally like graphic t-shirts. I like plain t-shirts too, but this is quite good. As part of the series, what I will show you in the next one will be things like bottoms, shoes, jewellery, accessories, but for today I'm sticking to coats, dresses and shirts, if that's okay. So next up is your traditional black blazer. This is from H&M. This is a double-breasted one I paid £7 for. If you read my blog, Blue Glitter, I do a lot of customizing, and I originally bought this piece to actually customize and do up. I was going to put faux leather on the lapels. I was going to go to town on it, but I looked at it and I realised, actually, as it is, it's a really nice blazer. It's got a boxy shape. It's got these really nice deep pockets. I always roll the sleeves up, and I quite like the lapels. I tend to cover the lapels in things like, I've got various brooches, I've got an S for my name, I've got a little tiny mirror, I've got a rosette. I tend to just jazz this up depending on how I feel according to what mood I'm in. But for £7 from this clearance section of H&M, and the fact I still wear this regularly, it is part and parcel of my work wardrobe. It is, I'm sorry about the camera focusing in and out, and I'm sorry. I've recently had very long hair, and in the last 6 months my very long hair has just gotten shorter and shorter, but the downside is it gets everywhere. But this I really like. What I would recommend is a nice blazer, but get a shape that is tailored that you like. I mean, personally, I really like the boxy, oversized, slouchy men's blazers, like style blazers that you get for ladies, but they look terrible on me. This one works because it cinches in nicely at the waist, but it's still got a slimline cut to it. It's still a bit boxy. The only other blazer I tend to favour over I've got two other blazers I favour over this. One is a 1980s forest green tan one that I tend to wear in place of a coat in the winter because it's that thick and heavy. It was from a charity shop in like 2011 or 12. and another one from eBay, which is cotton, and it says Hi and Bye in like Comic Sans on a pocket, and it is a Topshop branded one, but I bought it off somebody secondhand off eBay. So what I recommend for blazers are buy ones that can hold up having things put through the lapels, buy fun things to put on your lapels, buy a faux fur collar, whatever you want to do to make it feel like it's yours and make it a bit more unique. Change the buttons, whatever you want to do. But this, considering it was bought for a cheap project, but actually ended up becoming a staple and has been a staple in my wardrobe since 2012. Go for it. So next up, we are on to the shirts. Now, one of these shirts is going to be redone for a project, so please excuse the state of the buttons. So this here is a granddad shirt that, yes, it is rumpled because, as I said, it's been sat in my project pile. All these buttons are about to be taken off and replaced because, as you can see, unfortunately, rose gold doesn't hold up very well, and I don't have the facility to replate the buttons rose gold, and I'm not going to do them silver because I don't like the silver. But this is a granddad shirt from New Look originally. I paid, I think, about £7 for this. This is a cotton one. I've had it since 2013 or 2012, but this one I wear quite regularly as well. This is quite a light and easygoing shirt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the buttons and I'm just going to replace them with new buttons because, if I'm honest, I don't particularly like. I love the shirt, and I originally bought the shirt because it had these amazing rose gold buttons on them, but unfortunately over time the rose gold hasn't held up, and well, the rose gold's just fallen apart. So this is on my project pile to have all the buttons replaced. So something I would recommend, for looking after your shirts is, keep the shirt, but if you can, replace all of the buttons. You've got a fresh new looking shirt. Keep things white. Make sure if you've got any stains, treat them straight away. Don't let them sit. If you're not sure how to get rid of it, Google it. You can find a stain removal solution for pretty much everything. But I really love this shirt. I'm sorry, again, it's wrinkled to heck, but I wear this quite regularly. It's light and airy. I tend to wear it under blazers. I wear it under jumpers. I wear it on its own. I wear it with jeans. I wear it with black trousers. It's a really lovely, easygoing go-to shirt. I mean, it looks nice tucked into denim shorts. It's just a good shirt. So, highly would recommend. So, next up. Now, this is one of the more recent items I have purchased off the high street that I haven't had for like a stupidly long time, like my black t-shirt and dress I showed you. This is actually from Two Clothing at Sainsbury's. I bought this, I think, in, I want to say 2016. Yeah, I'd say 2016. I loved this because I liked the pie crust style collar. I love the pin tuck pleating, but most importantly, as you can see, I love this really pretty eyelash detail. And what's nice is it hasn't got fussy cuffs, which I quite like about it. This I bought as a nice basic on its own because I think it's quite cute having that little collar just popping out off a jumper, or just having it on its own. It is double layered, but unfortunately, as you can probably tell, it is see-through, so it does require an extra layer on it, but it's a really nice smart shirt. Looks nice with a black skirt, looks nice with a pair of jeans or a pair of trousers. The reason that drew my eye to this was the detailing, because, stuff like this on the high street, if it's sorry to use the American phrase, a dime a dozen. But what made this stand out for me was that really pretty eyelash lace detail. Same with the last shirt I showed you. It was the rose gold buttons. If it had different buttons on it, I wouldn't have picked it up. But for me, it's just that. That is very simple. I like it. I'd recommend something like that. And also, it's got a 60s shape to it with the pie collar. And I quite like the vintage feel. So, last two are two things I highly recommend having in your wardrobe. A blue and white striped shirt. This is a more recent acquisition. This was bought last year. This is Topshop. I bought it off eBay. It is a very traditional kind of workman style shirt, but a lady's variation. It's got little side slits. You can roll up the sleeves. And just to give it a bit of panache, it's got that little bit of red stitching there. I wear this quite a lot, black trousers, white jeans. It can be done well in the summer, it can be done well in the winter, depending on how you want to layer it. I recommend something like this because I quite like the stripes. It's cut like a classic white shirt, but it's a nice twist on a classic. You could do it nautical in the summer. That's however you want to wear it. Let's see what this one is made of. Because I must admit, I don't actually know what this particular shirt is made of. It's quite breathable. It doesn't actually say what it is, but it is good. Last but not least, mango shirt. Simple cotton flannel shirt. Wears well, comfy, great. Off eBay, very cheap. I highly recommend all these classics. Thank you for tuning in, and I will share more with you again.